This is KATU News at 11 on your side.
Tonight, a mass shooting investigation.
We know shootings are on the rise here in Portland in the last year.
Off the charts.
A city plagued by gun violence hits a new low.
We have clearly a gun violence problem in our community.
7 people shot in downtown Portland.
We have a homicide problem in our community.
An 18-year-old killed and still no arrests. What police tell us they're doing right now to keep people safe. We begin tonight with a live look over downtown Portland, where right now officers are out patrolling the streets on a busy Saturday night. Police say they want people to feel safe after a mass shooting that left 1 woman dead and 6 others hurt, but they admit the Bureau is lacking resources. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Kissel. Gun violence is on the rise in Portland, and it's gotten to the point where many business owners worry that this could affect them long term. KATU's Allison Mechanic joins us live from downtown tonight. And Allison, what did you hear from business owners?
Well, Catherine, today Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle did pull more resources into downtown. You can see right here behind us there are several police officers that are lined up in front of the downtown precinct. And these officers are from other precincts like the North Precinct and the East Precinct. But back on the business side, we are told from activists that they believe this is a step in the right direction, but it's still not enough. Business owners tell us they fear that the damage has already been done. Gunshots ring out in downtown Portland Saturday morning, turning the streets lined with people enjoying a night out into lines of crime scene tape. But while police start their work into what led to 7 people being shot, 1 of them killed, businesses fear their work could be coming to an end.
That's concerning to me. I'd like to be able to, as a new owner of a new restaurant, Po' Boys, we want to be able to open up and make people feel comfortable coming downtown.
Both locations of Randall Will Heights restaurant Po' Boys are near the mass shooting scene. For months, downtown has been trying to bring people back, but Will Height admits it's been hard to convince people downtown is safe. After this shooting, even landmark businesses like Portland Outdoor Store think it will be even harder to bring people back.
It affects it, absolutely. Perception is the biggest thing we have to worry about. And, it's fine during the day, but, it's still security, it's still the press, it's still the people getting hurt.
While businesses hope people will return, community members are hoping for this violence to stop.
We need to come together. They need to come together, again, with the city, county, and state, and come up with a plan immediately.
Sam Sachs is the founder of the No Hate Zone. He's been calling for the city to do more to keep shootings from continuing to rise for the better part of the year. But without immediate action, he fears we will only see more crime scenes.
I don't think the mayor or city council is doing enough. You should have had a plan when you got rid of the gun violence reduction team. You should have had a plan in place.
Now, Portland police have not released the identity of the 18-year-old who was shot and killed here in downtown. Following the shooting, the police chief and the mayor did hold a news conference. KATU asked them what their long-term plan was to stop violence in the city, and they were able to answer it. The mayor told us that they had a 3-fold approach.
Any details on that plan, Allison?
Yeah, absolutely. So the mayor says that the first step is intervention and prevention, like the focus intervention team that the city is currently getting up and running. The second step that they said was investigative follow through, but that is really only after a crime occurs. So it doesn't really prevent a crime from happening in the first place. It's just the follow through. And then the third one is community partnerships. But again, when we talk to activists today about this shooting, they still believe that more needs to be done in order to prevent these shootings from continuing to happen in the city.
Allison, thank you. Just a few weeks ago, Mayor Wheeler was encouraging people to come back to downtown Portland. According to police, their officers responded to more than 10 shootings in 38 hours. And so far this year, there have been more than 50 homicides. According to the Gun Violence Archive, 4 people were killed in shootings just in the past 2 weeks, and 10 people were hurt. This is a developing story. We'll have the latest tomorrow morning on KATU News at 7 a.m. When we're not on the air, you can always get the latest at KATU.com. And another deadly shooting is under investigation tonight. Portland police say 1 person was shot and killed early this morning near Northeast Sandy and 112th. Police haven't released their identity yet, and we're told no arrests have been made. Police in Washington, D.C. are working to tackle their own surge in gun violence. A shooting outside Nationals Park sent fans scrambling to safety tonight. According to police there, 4 people were shot outside the stadium during the game between the Padres and the Nationals. No one was hurt inside the stadium, and everyone was able to eventually leave. That game will resume tomorrow, and police are investigating. This comes less than 24 hours after a 6-year-old girl was killed in a drive-by shooting. 5 adults were also hit. D.C. police announced a $60,000 reward for information, and today the chief called the suspects cowards.
They don't care if it's the police, the National Guard, or whoever it is out there. Certainly we know that they don't care, or they didn't care, that Naya was out there. We know that. To make sure that our communities are safe, and this thing does not happen over and over and over again. We got to make sure that we are getting the right guns out of the wrong hands of people who should not have them in our community.
Now to the largest wildfire burning in the country. The Bootleg Fire in Klamath County is now more than 280,000 acres. But progress is being made. The fire is now 22% contained. There are more than 2,000 firefighters who are working to put out that fire. And those crews are working quickly to stop the spread. So far, the fire has destroyed more than 67 homes. More than 5,000 buildings are in its path. Crews on the ground say that wind and extremely dangerous conditions are making it difficult.
We currently have air tankers, helicopters, dozers, engines, over 1,700 personnel working this fire. So we certainly have the resources that we need. We just continue to see day after day after day of conditions that are not in our favor.
Helicopters were dumping water on the Bootleg Fire. Officials say they have about 8 helicopters dumping about 200 buckets a day, but the smoke is making it difficult.
In the mornings, we'll often have the smoke laid down at helibase or on the fire, and visibility is making it difficult to get helicopters over the fire.
In the meantime, progress is also being made on the Grandview Fire in Jefferson County. More than 6,000 acres have burned. It's about 31% contained. Fire officials say the growth in acreage is really not from the fire, but from accurate mapping. More crews are heading to the Elbow Creek Fire in northern Oregon. Governor Brown invoked the Emergency Conflagration Act to mobilize resources to help battle that fire. It's burned more than 10,000 acres, and that fire started Thursday, and so far there is no containment. KATU's Joe English joins us now to look at our forecasts and our conditions out there. And as you heard from the firefighters, just the conditions are not favorable down there for those fires.
Yeah, and more gusty wind down to the south. It usually calms down like the firefighters were talking about overnight. The smoke gets a lot thicker and then the wind picks up in the afternoon. That will happen again tomorrow. The wind's still coming at the best direction for northwest Oregon and southwest Washington to keep us fairly clear. But there's a look at the Bootleg Fire. That's where most of the smoke is coming from. As we go up to the north, well, now we're seeing the Elbow Creek Fire, and that is getting bigger. This is showing up on our visible satellite picture, which we have to get before the sun goes down. So this is from 6 o'clock this evening, but you can see in Wallowa County there, that's where that fire is burning and starting to get bigger. So we're going to see more smoke east of the Cascades, especially along the east side and down to the south. Of course, that's where some air quality issues will continue for the next several days, but you see fairly clear skies over northwest Oregon and much of Washington. So the heavy smoke still staying off to the east side. Southern Oregon looking at unhealthy air conditions, but Central Oregon looking better at this point. They've gone from moderate to good conditions through the day today. Not much of a change coming up. Our dry weather continues. Your satellite picture shows you that the high pressure is still hanging in there. So expect some sunshine tomorrow. In fact, more sunshine and temperatures a little bit warmer. We'll go over that and talk about the possibility of some raindrops coming our way in your complete forecast.
All right, Joe, thank you. Happening now, the Clark County Sheriff's Office needs your help tonight in the search for this 22-year-old man. Vladimir Dabrowski Griswold was last seen leaving his home in the Hakkasan area just before 4 o'clock. They say that he is on the autistic spectrum and he functions at a 12-year-old level. Those close to him say that it's unlike him not to return. People in the Hakkasan area are asked to check their properties, outbuildings, and any water features that may be on their properties because people on the spectrum are often drawn to water. He's about 5'10", 160 pounds with brown eyes, and he was last seen wearing a blue long-sleeve shirt and jeans. If you've seen him or recognize him, you're asked to call 911. Still ahead on KATU News at 11, pop star Britney Spears has a new lawyer in her corner.
What is in the best interest of Britney Spears?
The successful history of this Hollywood heavyweight when we come back. Now is the time to get a new job, especially if you're in this age group. We'll explain. A 12-year-old girl escapes from her burning home, how she was able to get out so quickly.